Lesson 2-2, Adding Integers. In the previous lesson, we had a little bit of an introduction into adding integers. So here, we're going to use a number line, and we're going to add two integers that have the same sign. So we're going to have -3. So you first want to go to -3 on the number line. So we find the -3, and it's right there. Now from there, you're adding a -4. So this is where you count over from this spot, and you're going 4 in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So your answer is -7. I want you to visit this link. It's a video that's really helpful for adding and subtracting integers. So if you're unable to just click on the link, just copy and paste it into your web browser and go from there. But the song lyrics are below, and it's sung to the tune of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Keep the signs of the higher number, then you'll be exact. And if you memorize that song and learn it, you'll actually be able to use it over the course of this video, as well as during class. You can kind of use it to yourself to remember that if they have the same signs, you add and keep. If they're different, you subtract. Then you keep the sign of the higher number, and then your answer will be exactly what you're looking for. So please go to this link and watch this video. Use this as a resource to help you with adding integers. I will also give anyone extra credit that wants to memorize this song and be able to sing it without the lyrics in front of them. I will give you 5 extra credit points towards your grade. So when we're adding integers with the same sign, you add the absolute values. So the sum is positive if both integers are positive. The sum is negative if both integers are negative. So this is adding things with the same sign. So for example, we have -2, it's a negative, and we added a -4. So you add the absolute values, which is 2 and 4, which got you 6, and you know that the answer is negative because both numbers were originally negative. So when we add integers, we're also going to be adding integers with different signs. For the example below, it is 6 plus a -3. So just like we did before, we start at the point of our first number, which is +6. So we travel over +6 and we put our point. From here, you will now move 3 places in the negative direction because it's telling us to move a -3. So we travel 1, 2, and 3. So our answer is a +3. To add integers with different signs, you subtract their absolute value, and then the sum depends on what is happening with the numbers. So the sum is positive if the integer's absolute value is greater, meaning it's the higher number. The sum is negative if the integer's absolute value is higher. So if the highest number in the expression is positive, then the answer is positive. If the highest number in the expression is negative, then the answer is negative. So depending on which one is greater, will tell you if your answer is positive or negative. So look at the example below of 9 plus -4 is 5. So we subtract their absolute values, so 9 minus 4, which got us 5. And now we go to the rule of if the integer is, which one's greater? Is the positive integer greater or the negative integer greater? And so we can look here and see that we had a +9 and a -4. 9 is greater than 4, so our answer is positive. Pause the video to try the example below. A scuba diver is 120 feet below the water surface. She then ascends 83 feet. What is her current depth? Write an addition equation and solve. So we first find out that she's 120 feet below, which means that it's a negative 120 feet. She ascends, descends is going down, so ascends is coming up. which would make a positive 83. And then they want you to solve for the current depth. So here we have a negative and a positive. So we know that we subtract their absolute values. So we have 120 minus 83. You have to borrow because you could not subtract 3 from 0. So we have 7 and then 37. So your answer is D, is 37. Now you have to determine if it's a positive or a negative. So we go back and we look at our original numbers and we determine which number is greater in the sign that goes with it. So here you have negative 20, or negative 120, excuse me, and a positive 83. The sign that's in front of the number is the number sign. Some people get confused whether it's a subtraction or an addition sign. They're the same, but the sign always goes with the number. So if it looks like an addition, it means a positive 183. If it looks like a subtraction, that means a negative number. So we know that 120 is greater than 83, and so the sign for 120 is negative, so our answer is negative. So our answer is a negative 37. So we have another property here, and it's called the additive inverse property. And this property means the sum of a number and its additive inverse, or its opposite, is 0. So 2 plus negative 2 is 0. If we draw it on the number line, if you go positive 2, and then you travel a negative 2, you're going to end at 0. So we write this out as A plus negative A equals 0. Again, that's the additive inverse property. Some people have called it in the past the additive zero property or just the zero property. Adding more than 2 integers can become a little bit tricky. My suggestion to you is to break it up into pieces and go from there. So anything that's the same, combine those first and then add in anything that's different. So we're going to have our 4 here be the same, and then we have a negative 2 plus a negative 7. And we know that since they're both negative, the answer is going to be negative, and then you just add them together. So 7 plus 2 is going to be 9. So our new problem is 4 minus 9. Well, now we have a positive 4 and a negative 9. So we can subtract them. 9 minus 4 is 5, and our sign goes with the bigger number, so negative 5. Pause the video and try the example below on your own. Negative 7 plus negative 3 equals 11. So combine what you know. Negative 7 plus a negative 3 plus 11. So you first want to combine the things that are alike. So the negative 7 and the negative 3, they're the same sign, so your answer is negative. 7 plus 3 is 10. Plus a positive 11. So different signs, that means you subtract, and you get negative 10 plus 11, you subtract 11 minus 10 and get 1, and then the sign goes with a bigger number, so it's a positive 1. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure that you submit your notes and the lesson review for verification of this video.